I bring greetings to you from my mother. She's a big admirer of Wellesley, and she wishes she could be here. She called me yesterday to ask how the speech writing was going and to tell me to remember to use a lot of lotion on my legs today so they would not look ashy. My mother is 73, and she retired as the first female registrar of the University of Nigeria, which was quite a big deal at the time. My mother likes to tell a story of the first university meeting she chaired. It was in a large conference room, and at the head of the table was a sign that said, "Chairman." My mother was about to get seated there when a clerk came over and made to remove the sign. All the past meetings had, of course, been chaired by men, and somebody had forgotten to replace the chairman with a new sign that said chairperson. The clerk apologized and told my mother he would find the new sign since she was not a chairman. My mother said no. Actually, she said, she was a chairman. She wanted the sign left exactly where it was. The meeting was about to begin. She didn't want anybody to think that what she was doing in that meeting at that time, on that day, was in any way different from what a chairman would have done. Now, I always liked this story, and I admired what I thought of as my mother's fiercely feminist choice. I once told this story to a friend, a card-carrying feminist, and I expected her to say bravo to my mother, but she was troubled by it. Why would your mother want to be called a chairman as though she needed the man part to validate her? My friend asked. In some ways, I saw my friend's point. Because if there were a standard handbook published annually by the Secret Society of Certified Feminists, then that handbook would certainly say that a woman should not be called, nor want to be called, a chairman. But gender is always about context and circumstance. And if there is a lesson in this anecdote, apart from just telling you a story about my mother to make her happy that I spoke about her at Wellesley, then it is this: your standardized ideologies will not always fit your life, because life is messy. When I was growing up in Nigeria, I was expected, as every student who did well was expected, to become a doctor. Deep down, I knew that what I really wanted to do was to write stories. But I did what I was supposed to do, and I went into medical school. I told myself that I would tough it out and become a psychiatrist, and that way I could use my patients' stories for my fiction. But after 1 year of medical school, I fled. I realized I would be a very unhappy doctor, and I really did not want to be responsible for the inadvertent death of my patients. Leaving medical school was a very unusual decision, especially in Nigeria, where it is very difficult to get into medical school. Later, people told me that it had been very courageous of me, but I did not feel courageous at all. What I felt then was not courage, but a desire to make an effort, to try. I could either stay and study something that was not right for me, or I could try and do something different, and so I decided to try. I took the American exams, and I got a scholarship to come to the US, where I could study something that was not related to medicine. Now, it might not have worked out. I might not have been given the American scholarship. My writing might not have ended up being successful. But the point is that I tried. We cannot always bend the world into the shapes we want, but we can try. We can make a concerted and real and true effort. And you are privileged that because of your education here, you have already been given many of the tools that you will need to try. Always just try, because you never know. And so as you graduate, as you deal with your excitement and your doubts today, I urge you to try and create the world you want to live in. Minister to the world in a way that can change it. Minister radically, in a real, active, practical, get your hands dirty way. Wellesley will open doors for you. Walk through those doors and make your strides long and firm and sure. Write television shows in which female strength is not depicted as remarkable, but as merely normal. Teach your students to see that vulnerability is a human rather than a female trait. Commission magazine articles that teach men how to keep a woman happy. Because there are already too many articles that tell women how to keep a man happy. And in media interviews, make sure fathers are asked how they balance family and work. In this age of parenting as guilt, please spread the guilt equally. Make fathers feel as bad as mothers. Make fathers share in the glory of guilt. Campaign and agitate for paid paternity everywhere in America. Paid paternity leave everywhere in America. Hire more women where there are few. But remember that a woman you hire doesn't have to be exceptionally good. Like a majority of the men who get hired, she just needs to be good enough.